So morning everyone, it's day 61, stage 61, we're back on track with that. We're in the car, it's now 7:55, we've been on the road for about 2 hours. We are heading to my finish point from 2 days ago. Obviously yesterday I had a rest day and we are now back at it. Today I've got a 30 miler ahead of me. It was a 25 miler on the plan, but I'm now going to try and even out all of the stages that I've got left for 7 days. Try and make those 7 days 30 miles each day rather than do the big long days. So we're in the car. Looks like a really nice bright day today. Looks like the kind of perfect running conditions. Might get a little bit hot towards the end of this run, but it's clear, blue skies, sun is shining. Just hoping for really good trails and good paths today. If we get more of the same that we had a day ago when I was running with Tim, that would be fantastic. It was beautiful back there. And yeah, so we'll make our way through big town of Ingolstadt, out the other side, and we're heading to a place called Neuberg and Danube. And I mean, I don't really know how the rest day is going to have affected the body. I feel quite kind of loose, but whether or not I'm going to be sluggish, I know that sometimes it can go either way really. You sort of either feel great or the body has sort of, I don't know, isn't quite, you know, you flip out of that kind of rhythm of running every day. But basically my plan, I'll just ease into this one again. You know, I know that at some point during these runs, if I take it steady in the beginning, at some point, if I just keep moving, keep the momentum, that I'll find my flow, and just hoping to do that again today. So yeah, I mean, I feel, I'm positive, you know, with 7 days to go, I feel like I want to get at it. I want to, you know, tick off these days, consistency, you know, be steady, sensible and controlled, get from A to B intact, land this thing basically with kind of, you know, again, no ego. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I just need to sort of be really, really controlled, keep my focus and make sure I'm doing what I've been doing for the last 60 days and we should be good. And that is it. So I will update you again a bit along the way and at the end, but let's go get the 7th of the last 7 days done. So today's run I want to dedicate to my mum, and obviously without her I literally wouldn't be able to be here doing this. But she's also been a huge support from day one. She believed in me from day one, and she's been sending me messages every single day, quotes with motivation, support first thing in the morning to encourage me to keep going. So many wonderful messages of support and encouragement and instilling belief in me. I mean, I also love the fact that she's done maybe what Mum's doing. She's sort of posted it on 17 different platforms. So I've had to work out where it's popping up every day. But it's really been fantastic. And it's not just that. I think, you know, one of the things when I was growing up as a kid, I remember my mum having to show tremendous kind of resilience and resourcefulness and hard work and determination and grit to ensure that as kids we had as much as possible of what we needed. And I don't think without seeing those characteristics in my mum that maybe I would be the person that I am today. And I certainly wouldn't be the person that I am if she hadn't have made it feel like, or made me aware that from the very get-go that I could do anything that I wanted to achieve. That she instilled that into me from a very young age, that if you want something, you have to believe in yourself and go and get it. And there's nothing is too big, whether that be going to university or whatever it was. I was the first person in my family to go. Whatever it was, I believed that I could achieve it, and it was just all about me and my attributes and working hard. And I think my mum definitely kind of put that for me. She made me believe that dreams are possible to achieve. So, you know, the other thing, she's not going to thank me for saying this, but, and I think we get this from my grandma actually, and probably from my dad as well, there's a stubbornness and a refusal to quit that has definitely been passed down somehow. I don't know whether that's in the genetics or whether that's been passed down through kind of learning, but I've definitely got those stubborn traits that mean that I can just crack on, get your head down and persevere with these things. You know, I also think, going back to that point about kind of resilience, and yeah, I mean, I saw my mum kind of deal with very difficult situations and suffer some hardships that, you know, I've lived a life that, you know, I've been very fortunate with what's happened to me in my life. But watching her cope with that and do all of those things and come out always, you know, smiling, happy, good sense of humour, all of those things is, you know, it helps. It really helps when you're out and you're doing something like this to have those characteristics in yourself, or have that ability to reach in and find something good in everything. She's also just a wonderful person, caring, loving, would look after anyone and everyone, and has done most of her life. So, Mum, sorry, yeah, held it together, but Mum, this one's for you. Thank you for all your support.
Turn left.
Morning people, it's actually day 62, but because we're travelling so far to and from the start and end points at the moment from our accommodation, didn't have time to wrap this up yesterday, so I'm going to do it now. We'll wrap yesterday's day up. Yesterday was a great day, really, out on the trails. I ran really well, probably a little bit too well if I'm honest. The first 18 miles I got done in 3 hours. It felt really good. There weren't many places to kind of stop, so where I'm running now, a lot of it's actually quite remote. It feels a little bit like a throwback to Romania, where you're doing these long stretches of, there's sort of dike paths and stuff that are now very close to the river, and there's not much else there. It's sort of countryside, so we're not passing through too many towns. So the good thing is that means that you don't sort of have this kind of temptation to stop, but it also means that, you know, you can't refuel, so it's a double-edged sword. But it made for good momentum yesterday. I ran through some really beautiful countryside as well. So you've got, I mean, it's the river paths run right next to the river, and then you've got these huge forests on the opposite side. Instead of being between you and the river like they were in Romania, they're now just on the opposite side, so you can run right next to the river. It's really stunning. And the whole thing was magic. I did a big long stretch, probably about 6 or 7 miles through a forest, and that was familiar for me. It felt like I was running through the New Forest in the UK. So that was nice as well. It was nice and shady, nice and cool. I felt like I was the only person on the planet at that point because there was no one else around. And yeah, I guess for the second part of that run, after 18 miles, I slowed down for the last kind of 11. I ended up doing 29. That last bit was a little bit slower, but that's kind of fine. And day 7 was done, so we've got 6 to go, 6 kind of 30 miles. I managed to take, I think, 10 miles or so out of the 44 that I was supposed to be doing on day 62, which hopefully makes that a little bit shorter. Legs and everything else feel good. They may be a little bit beaten up from yesterday, but we'll take it nice and steady on day 62. Spirits are high, we're all on the move now. We're moving from the accommodation. My wife and my son are off to go and get a camper van from Zurich, and they'll come meet me back on the trail in a couple of days' time. My sister and my nephew and my other nephew's girlfriend are moving to Munich to collect my mum and her partner, and then they'll meet me back on the trail. So yeah, I'm going to basically be solo today, so the pack goes back on day 62. But yeah, it's all going to be good. So anyway, I normally say tomorrow, but today, well, I'm on the way basically back up to the sort of start point now. Tomorrow I'm just going to take it steady and land this one, and then we'll only have 5 to go.